It's important when you're working a project to know how to fix mistakes and how mistakes occur. Now, one thing that you will frequently see in new knitters is in this situation here, and it's you wind up increasing a stitch when you don't mean to. So I'm at a knit and I've got a purl here, and I know that my yarn's got to come to be to the front, and if I bring my yarn this way over the front, what have I done? I've actually increased a stitch. Now I can fix this when I get to that point when I'm working back by just dropping that ugly yarn over, but if I do that, the tension's going to be kind of ugly. So when you're going from a knit to a purl, you want to make sure that you bring the yarn between the needles and then purl. Now let's say I have a drop stitch. I've left my work and the needles come off, and when I look at it again, it looks like this. Now, what is my options? Do I panic and do I rip it out to that point? No, I can fix it. Now, fixing it on the purl side is a little more difficult because I have to find the stitch, and also crochet hook, absolute knitting necessity to fix these. I can insert my needle from the back, my crochet hook from the back, and then pull it through, and I've got my purl bump. But the other thing I can do is I can turn the work over, and if it's a reverse stocking knit on one side, it's a knit on the other, and I find it easier to fix from the knit side. I insert my needle and I just pull the yarn through, and disaster is averted. Now the other thing that I can do with this, and I'm going to backtrack, and I find it easier to kind of unknit rather than to rip out. You just insert the needle in there, and if you get the stitch twisted on the needle, you can always adjust it. Okay. What if it's the first stitch, my selvage stitch, that has come undone? And I'm going to undo this, and notice I'm not worried about this because I know I can fix it. Let's say I've noticed that this loop is out. Oh no, it's the end of the world. I have to throw it all out, rip back to there. No, I just simply insert, and I go to the top of the loop through, I pull it through, and there you go. It's been fixed. Now, because I undid that, I've got my slip stitch there. I've got to go back and knit that stitch. I'll put it on the needle, get the crochet hook out of there, and go ahead and knit it, because remember, the first and last stitch you always knit. And there we go, and everything's back to normal, fine and good. So don't panic. You've got a crochet hook, you can just go back and fix it. Now, what I recommend that you do every so often is to look at your work and make sure it's okay. And if you see a mistake, if there's a mistake here, it's a lot easier to fix than if it's down here. So I make it a rule that every, I don't know, 10 rows or so, I just stand back, look at it, and go, looking good, ready to go. Now, notice that I have added a new skein here, and I've got these yarn tails. I'll show you how to weave in those yarn tails so that they're invisible on both sides when I get to that point.